The death toll from raging wildfires in Chile is steadily rising as firefighters struggle to contain more than 150 blazes. Authorities say at least 13 people have been killed as of Friday night. 4 of the deaths involved 2 cars south of the capital, Santiago. A firefighter was also ran over by a truck, and a helicopter helping combat the flames crashed, killing those on board. The fires have so far ripped through more than 14,000 hectares. Meteorologists expect the scorching heatwave to continue for some days.
Okay, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation you Akim out there that's been pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. At least 13 people dead from the raging fires in Chile. And this is judgment from the Lord. Not only do you have raging fires going on in Chile, but you got earthquakes going on in diverse places. Indonesia just got hit with an earthquake. About a month and a half ago, California got hit with an earthquake. So you have wars, rumors of wars. You have earthquakes in diverse places. You have flames of devouring fire that's devouring acres and acres of land and killing people at the same time, which is judgment of the Lord. You know, I'm not gonna make this lesson too long. I'm just gonna get a few precepts. I'll be right to tell you, Akim out there will be edified. And with that, let's get into the lesson. It says, Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes. And we see that. Like I mentioned, earthquakes in Indonesia. About a month and a half ago, an earthquake hit California. So the Lord is visiting the world in which he made. It says, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with earthquakes, with thunder and with earthquakes, and a great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And that's exactly what you see going on in Chile, mainly the Santiago part of Chile. The Lord judged 13 people through fire. A firefighter got hit with a truck. A helicopter was helped trying to squash the flames, fell out of the sky and crashed and killing everybody on board, which was more judgment of the Lord. See, judgment is going forth throughout the 4 corners of the earth. People are getting put to death on a large scale. On a large scale, people are getting put to death. Wherever they get put to death for committing adultery, like that dude Tyree Nichols, he wasn't innocent. Job 4:7, I prayed whoever perished being innocent. Just like them 13 victims that perished through them flames in Chile, Santiago, they weren't innocent. Like them people that was on that helicopter and they crashed and killing everybody on board, they weren't innocent. That was just how the Lord wanted them to go out. That was their judgment. You see, judgment and death and destruction is going out throughout the 4 corners of the earth. And people, once you realize that, then you'll learn the fear of the Lord. That is the Lord's doing this. The Lord is doing this. You're not gonna learn the fear of the Lord because you've been taught by the precepts of men that God loves everybody. And that's not and that's totally inaccurate. The Lord judgeth, he killeth, and he do that which he please in the land which he created, in this universe. He's the God of the universe. He is the King of terrors, the Father of spirits. And when he requires your spirit, there's nothing you could do about it. Because he's the King of terrors and the Father of spirits. So when he bring terror upon you and judge you and bring that judgment upon you, you weren't innocent. Pursuant to Job chapter 4, verse 7. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 30. And the Lord Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall show the lightning, and shall show the lightning down of his arm with the indignation, his righteous anger of his anger. It says, let me read it again, Slakia. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 30. And the Lord Yahweh shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, which is his prophets is proclaiming everything that is written in the book. That's how you're going to hear the voice of the Lord through his prophets. And shall show the lightning down of his arm with the indignation of his anger, and with the flame of devouring fire, in which you see over in Santiago, Chile, raging fires, raging wildfires, devouring acres of land and killing people that's in his path, which is judgment. It says, and with the flame of a devouring fire, with scattering and tempest and hailstones. And that's exactly what you see going on in Santiago, Chile. The Lord is doing this. The Lord sanctioned them people's death. And they said the Lord is he's a consuming fire. He very well may be in them flames. But you cannot get around that the Lord is doing this. He's bringing judgment. Showing you we're at the end of this devil's rulership. We're at the end of this devil's rulership. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is that which followeth. Pursuant to 2 Ezra 6, do 7 through 9. 2 Ezra 6, 7 through 9 explains that. So when you see all these wars and these rumors of wars, the Lord of hosts is much of the host of the battle. And I wrote host being host being armies. For the Lord is the Lord of armies. Everything you see going on this earth, the Lord is orchestrating it, how he won it. This is his movie. Whether it's brush fires, whether it's famine, whether it's people getting shot down by police, that's their judgment. Or getting the shit beat out of them by police, that's their judgment. Adultery is a sin unto death. Being a gangbanging drug dealer is a sentence unto death, because you are likened unto a witch when you are gangbanging drug dealer. You selling people instrument to alter their mind. So you are likened unto a witch. And what happens to a witch, you ought to put them to death. When you take another man's life, you will lose your life by the very same violent way that you took that man's life. You got to learn the fear of the Lord, man. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. Did you hear that? The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. There's no other way around that. Everything that's going on in this world, whether it's somebody getting the shit beat out of them, getting beat to death, they get hit by a car, shot in the head, jump off a roof. Everything is being orchestrated by the Lord Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. And that is what it is. Whether you want to hear it, whether you want to believe it or not. Deuteronomy, we bringing out the scriptures to show you that the Lord is controlling everything. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Once the Lord sanctions your death, that's it, man. Let's read it again from the top so it can sink in. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there's no God with me. I kill and I make alive. The Lord kill, he maketh alive. Like it says in 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. There's no getting around this. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Once the Lord sanctions your death, that's it, man. That's it. And however how he sanctions it, whether you get shot in the head, run over by a bus, drown, burn, and devoured in flames, which is a crazy way to go out. Drowning is a horrific way to go out. Getting burned to death, burned alive, is a horrific way to go out. And starving to death is another horrific way to go out. And that's exactly what's coming down the pipe. That's exactly what's coming down the pipe. More flames of devouring fire, pestilence, famine, and death. And there's no escaping it. The Lord appoint 4 kinds of death for you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans pursuant to Jeremiah 15:1. The Lord appointed 4 kinds of deaths. And you're not going to escape. Back in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there's no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For it says, if I whet my glittering sword, that word whet means to sharpen, my glittering sword, and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. That's some nuclear missiles. That's them nuclear missiles, them ICBM, hypersonic and supersonic missiles. That's going to pelt America and certain parts of the earth and rock it to and fro like a drunkard. Pursuant to Isaiah 29 verse 19 on down. Salakia 24 verse 19 on down. Salakia. It says, I will make my arrows drunk with blood and my sword, the ICBM nuclear missiles, the regular gun, pestilence, famine, is all part of the Lord's sword. It says, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from the beginning of revenge upon the enemy. Who's the Lord's main enemy? Esau. 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that refuse to get right, that pledge your alliance unto Esau, the so-called white man. The reason why them wildfires are raging on in Chile because they worship idols. And the Lord is totally against worshiping of idols, for he has jealous power. And that's why these fires are raging on. And there's going to be more death and more destruction. This is the year that the Lord, this is the hopeful year of all the prophecies coming to pass. And us getting the hell out of this bitch. So with that, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation you Akim out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.